feather, light, work, asking, answer, accepting, honoring, all we are, earth to star. Right now we're at an event called Solar Punk Summit out in the countryside in Texas. And there's a river there. There's 70,000 stars right there. There's some mud over there.
Lots of mud.
And there's a little slice of paradise right here. There's also crickets chirping. We have a concert performance of some kind happening. We put up 2 teepees today. I just helped a new friend out of the mud over there. Her car was stuck. And we have been in each other's loving embrace. We've been held by a sacred fire down there. We swam in water where there was a water moccasin sighting earlier today. We danced with a bunch of kids. And we saw some fabulous music. We got lifted up by our friend with a hug. I love those hugs that are so hard they lift you right off the ground.
Oh, look at your...
Gave and received some good hard hugs today. Let's talk about walking in beauty.
Okay.
We have this mantra, walk in beauty. That means a lot of different things to a lot of different people. To me, it means being firm in who I am, honoring all sides of myself, bringing loving acceptance. With mud on my bracelet, with tears and blood, just exactly as I am, showing up, doing my work, walking my walk, walking beside this lady that I walk with. What does walk in beauty mean to you?
What does it mean when you say, this lady I walk with?
I like to affectionately call my companion the lady that I walk with, because my, any kind of possessive ownership doesn't exactly sit with me in a resonant way, doesn't feel truthful to me. It feels like a little bit dissonant, so I don't say she's my girlfriend, she's my partner, she's my companion, even though in a common speak kind of way, I get that. That's how we talk. In a way that seems to honor my truth and sovereignty, I say, this is the lady I walk with. That feels true.
Good. I like it.
Let's even talk about walking together. We talk about beauty walk in beauty. It's not necessarily a walk, but we're talking about our Earthwalk. Here in our earthly body, here in this flesh and bone, we have our walk on the earth. And so, being the visitors we are, we talk about our earth walk like it's a special experience.
Yeah.
This life in this body is a really precious gift. And we celebrate it like that.
Yeah.
Celebrate all the parts of us that are sweaty and bloody and muddy and weird and wonky, and working and growing and blooming and blossoming and thorny and petally. All the parts.
All the parts.
Headachy, ugly, scarred. Today, I'm really learning. I'm making it a focal point for myself to love all the parts of myself. Love all my ugly parts. Love all those parts that are shy, don't want to speak. Love all those parts that are timid and filtered. Love all those parts that are shadowy. Today I'm swimming in the river, purifying, and also recognizing that I have thoughts that are troubling me. I have a sensation here at my third eye asking for attention. Don't know what it is, but recognize that my body goes through changes. And I love it when my kids complain of their legs being sore, because I know that means they're having growing pains. And I love it when my mentor tells me these are ascension symptoms. Having insomnia sometimes, having headaches, having stomach upset once in a while, having anxious feelings. It's okay. It's part of the
Earthwalk.
Part of the Earthwalk, right?
Yeah. Especially, it's been really exciting. And sometimes a really wise person told me one time that sometimes we can feel anxiety and we feel a lot going on in our body, and sometimes we can just be mistaking excitement for anxiety. And what if we were just really, really excited? And it wasn't anxiety, it was just a lot going on inside our bodies, and we're just kind of, I don't want to say programmed, but we're kind of just assuming and distracted that it's negative, or it's unsuiting, because it's not calm, it's not simple, it's not stable. But exciting is wonderful. And sometimes when we're excited, it's hard to sleep too. And sometimes, you could call that insomnia, but it could be just because you're so excited for what's next and what's coming and all the good stuff. Sometimes there's what's the term that you use? An embarrassment of riches.
An embarrassment of riches. That means life is so good, it's almost embarrassing. Like we can't even talk about it because it almost sounds like bragging. Life is so good. Not so good, I cry tears of joy every second. But behind this really satisfied feeling is a super euphoric, super satisfied soul. I feel there's a purity of soul. I don't know if that's true for every soul. I almost feel like, when I talk about the medicine walk, doing the medicine work, singing a medicine song, I feel like I'm doing that for my flesh, for my body, heart, and mind. I feel my soul is always intact. My soul is always whole and pure and holy. My soul is a part of spirit. My soul is a part of source. Source, love, the origin of all that exists is my soul. And my soul, my spirit, is enjoying this earth walk, and at the same time my soul is at home right now. My soul is always home. This earth walk actually doesn't even exist in a certain way of thinking about it. This is a visitation, this is an illusion, and it's happening for a reason. There's a reason. Creator makes no mistakes. There's a good divine purpose for me to be here. Maybe my soul is growing and expanding in some way.
Absolutely.
Maybe spirit itself is stretching out the definition of love in all the different directions through all of us vessels, expanding on what love is. I don't think of love as a thing that has an opposite. Fear, no. Fear doesn't, there's no, love isn't a polarizing thing, it just is.
Yeah, love is everywhere present.
Love is the driving force of everything we do. Love is built into the cells. Our atoms are commanded by it. It drives everything. It's the force of everything. It's the energy of everything. It's the impulse to move. It's the flow. Nothing opposes that.
Mm-mm. I concur.
I congratulate you. How do you talk about your beauty walk, beautiful lady?
Well, for me, I find the most joy when I'm being in service. And what does in service mean? And that is really just supporting. But also, too, I've come to realize that that service and that support is just as important for myself. So I'm trying to find that joy and that bliss in doing that. But I just feel really happy to support in whatever way I can. And that goes across board. So whether it's just talking, being, holding space or listening to someone or answering questions to the best of my ability, known or unknown, seen or unseen, to just help someone navigate what they're going through. Or today, we can talk about today. Today I felt really good helping Cabe and his peers put up the teepee. Felt really good. I felt good to be of service in that way.
What was it like?
It was really great. It seems really sacred. It's very calming. Being in a teepee for me feels very like being close to the belly, like a womb, like almost. I feel really safe in a teepee. I feel really secure in a teepee.
How many of us have ever even seen a teepee?
I know.
How many of us have been able to go to the door and look inside of a teepee? How many of us have been able to walk into the door of a teepee? How many of us have been able to speak the language that says, hello, I honor you, all my relations, and be invited into the teepee? Aho matakuye oyasin. Aho. It's such a privilege and an honor. It's such a humbling experience.
Yeah.
I cherish that experience. I cherish all the instances when I was welcomed into someone's home like that, someone's sacred dwelling place.
Yeah.
One of the elders today said, it takes months to put up a home. It takes months to put up a house. It takes hours to put up a teepee. And that doesn't take away from the special nature of a teepee. That just adds to it, because even without even considering how the lodgepole pines got all the way over to Texas when there are no lodgepole pines that grow here, how they were carefully carved, and the long, straight 30, 40 foot poles were carefully smoothed and polished and preserved and delivered here. And these trees stand for us. 30 trees. Yeah, so without even considering how this home got delivered to us. Here, brother. Here, sister, let's put up a home. Here, let's put up this sacred place where we can all gather around a fire and have a beautiful way of honoring the spirit present with us. And let's have a big mark way up high that says this is a safe, sacred place. This is a spiritual place. And what we've seen modeled here at this place right now is sacred and holy. The group that rallied around and put up this teepee and put the pins in the canvas and smoothed the floor. It was sacred and holy the way we did it. And there were times when people, 200 different Native American tribes traveled around these lands, and they probably put up teepees in all kinds of different ways. Some of them didn't have access to these wonderful 30-foot tall straight poles, and they probably put some dirt together and made a dwelling in a different way. We got to see it prepared in a holy way, and we got to participate in a sacred homecoming in that way. We got to participate in a really inclusive of all different walks of life type of ritual to put up a teepee. It's not always like that. It's not always sacred. The act of putting up a teepee, I would venture to say, is sacred, but there's not one culture that does that. There's countless cultures in this land. We can't loop them all into one culture. I like to remember that there are a lot of cultures that make up indigenous culture. There's no indigenous way. There's a lot of interpretations of what an indigenous way is, and there's lineages from a lot of different tribes and cultures that do things differently. That comes back to the idea of walking in beauty. Does that mean the same thing to everybody? When I say it means this to me, I mean that because it lights me up and it creates like a path for me and a zone of comfort that I can focus on and go that way. Other people might have their own interpretation of that phrase, and they might find different levels of value in it. We got to put up a really special dwelling place of our own. Will you talk about that?
Sure. Well, today was the first time that Cabe and I basically erected our own little village out here. And this is our first time out in this way and creating our space in this way and creating our dwelling in this way. And super comfortable and really beautiful, and it was really nice. I think there's something pretty sacred about when you create something from nothing for the first time. And especially when you're dealing with tents and dwellings, this is like a pop-up kind of deal. There is teamwork that comes along with this. There's working together. And I'm just really grateful because it's really easy to work with Cabe. He's got a great desire to work and be of service and is motivated and excited to do these kind of things. So it's really joyful. It's really kind and feels really good to create these spaces and to be out here. You know, we're out here in nature. I mean, we're not in a remote area. There are cabins and water, but it's just a really nice space to be in and to be able to work in that way and to create our little area. I think it went really well. I'm grateful.
I want to honor you, Audrey, for all the thoughtfulness. A lot of intention went into the creation of this beautiful space we made here and there. The preparation work you did and just the choices you've made, all these beautiful, what do you even call it?
Decor, outside decor, I don't know.
Yeah, it's like this, you know?
Curation.
It's tasteful, it's elegant, it's comfortable, it's pretty. It smells nice, it's clean, it's so much love went into this. So much love. Yeah, our friend Clementine just walked by and she just called this our own little space temple. That sums it up.
That really does sum it up. You know? I mean, and it goes back to like, there's just something sacred about just being in a space. Just even if it's in one of our apartments or something, just, I think really ultimately we can convert any space, inside, outside, big, small, house, you know, wherever we're at. I think that the priority is when we're together, we create this beautiful synergy, this beautiful harmony. I was plugged in and connected, and I'm grateful to have these belongings, but to be able to curate them and put them together, I was motivated by a certain kind of love and excitement for an experience. And I think that's really, it's an art form. Homesteading is an art form, and making sacred spaces is an art form, and it starts with our energy. And whether Cabe picked these things out or not, his energy is with me quite frequently, and we cultivate every day. We curate our days together and our weeks and our moments, and I think it carries into everything that we do, and it creates a sense of serenity. It creates a sense of beauty. And well, I'm grateful. And I'm grateful to have someone like you who really truly appreciates the same things that I appreciate, and it's been a pleasure.
I love that phrase that says, home is where the heart is. Home is where the heart is. Home is where the heart is. I've been contemplating that. Today, just today, my heart has been a lot of places. My heart has been with you and home with a capital H. My heart has been here in this space temple, home. My heart has been lying on my back by the fire down by the river, staring up at the stars, feeling home with a capital H. I felt home putting up the teepee, putting the pins in the canvas to close that. Home with the hug that lifted me off the ground. Home in a dance. Home in a conversation with my sister. Home in this beautiful tiki village down there. Even home with a song, a medicine song, helping me to be strong where I am in the present moment while I was pushing a car out of the mud. Home with a capital H. Like I was just right in the right place at the right time. Home, I was right there. Home, my heart was in it, my heart was right there. Wait a hey, hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, hey ya. Wait a hey, hey ya, hey ya, wait a hey ya, hey ya, hey yo. Wait a hey, hey ya, hey ya, wait a hey ya, hey ya, hey yo. The Sun Earth Blessing song by Mari Sato. I was finding strength deep inside myself, finding firm footing with the help of that song. I had an inner knowing that we were going to get that car unstuck with that song. Calling home. I feel home with you, Audrey, wherever we go. I also like that idea, wherever I lay my hat is my home, because home is where the heart is. I can be in love with wherever I am, being in love with life, being with someone I'm in love with, being in love with my life, being in love with this Earthwalk, being in love with this situation. Feels good to be in this heart open way of being.
It leaves you speechless. You said something to me the other day, and it was so accurate. I asked, I was out running around some errands, and I said, do we need anything while I'm driving around? And his response was, we have everything we need. And that has been ringing in my ear since the moment he said it. And we really, truly have everything we need.